Okay, I just want to say that took way too long. I am sorry that it took so long for me to get back to my apartment, to get into everything that I'm doing right now. Come on, Bobby. Also, for everyone that is actually on stream, kitty. It's a little kitty. Mm. But yeah. Ow, I keep hitting my knee on my desk. There you go, Bob. So, welcome to the stream, everybody. I hope everyone's doing fantastic. I hope everyone's having a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. I know I'm having a pretty alright or pretty okay St. Patrick's Day. So this is pretty much what I'm doing on this stream, at least starting off. We're gonna be talking about what really makes a performing artist, and I'm actually presenting this tomorrow for a class. And I thought there was no real better way to talk about something like this than to actually just do it. I just wanted to add a little bit of lo-fi going on in the background, just so I'm also going to move the mic a little closer to my mouth so I don't have to scream the entire time. So today we're going to be talking about what really makes a performing artist and what we are doing, what I'm doing as a performing artist, that Wayne Bergeron's doing, that Wynton Marsalis is doing, that Håkon Hardenberger's doing, that just all of these professional players and these monster players are doing, that we need to be doing. So I guess I'll just go through my presentation so far. It's only like 4 slides. But first, who are we? Hey, that's me. I'm Chris Wood, studying trumpet performance with Dr. Derek Ganong from Boise State University, Dr. Zach Bowie from Boise State University, Buddy Deschler from the Dallas Brass, Eric Latini from the Albany Symphony, and Ben Gunnarsson from DCI staff. And then, that shows who I am. And now that we actually are starting to get into a little bit more of editing, I'm going to put my mic down, pull in my seat. Let's get to it. I hope the viewers, or the one viewer that I have currently, is enjoying what they're seeing. I'm not really expecting too much out of this, especially because I'm just kind of like hanging out on stream. Okay. University. Alright, so this is Chris Cermak. He is another Phaeton trumpet performing artist friend of mine. So I'm just going to put that for right now because I don't really know much about him. Now, what does performance anxiety feel like? That is the real question of the day. Honestly, this is a very hard question to answer, because it's very hard for many people to exactly describe what it feels like. At least for me personally, I know my performance anxiety comes in the kind of sense of I'm not good enough to be performing right now, or I'm not good enough, period. And just give me a moment. There we go. Alright. Whew. Sorry, I just had a coughing fit just now. Here we go. So, we know exactly what performance anxiety... Or we don't know exactly what performance anxiety feels like, but... in my opinion, that's what it feels like. Yeah. I feel like this is kind of a good representation of how some people feel with, like, performance anxiety. Especially when it comes to, like, actually being on stage. When, at least for me personally, like, when I'm out on stage, and I'm just going to hold my mic with my stand in together. Oh my god, this is actually a lot easier. Like, when I go out on stage, I almost never feel like I'm looking over a bridge or like I'm not gonna see the end. It's more like I'm just very nervous and very flustered and very like butterflies in my stomach almost. I just don't want the people that are listening to think, oh my god, I showed up for this. And that's it's not a good way to think of performance anxiety. It's not a good mindset to be in, but it most certainly is better than nothing. It's better than having some mindset to go to. So now let's talk a little bit more like about performance anxiety and really what it is. Kind of looking in a little bit further now. As I put my mic down. So I'm just going to type out what it feels like. Yeah. So I know I wrote what a performing artist really does and what they do. But I would say just trying to wrap everything together right now, I know it kind of is like up in midair. I would say right now that you're not only a performing artist in terms of music. I'm going to turn my lo-fi down just a hair. So yeah, you're not really a performing artist in the sense of only music, because you are most certainly a performing artist in regards to music, but you're not... I'm going to turn my brightness down just a hair. Yeah, there we go. So you're a performing artist making music and making the art of music happen, but there's a different type of artist. And this is what I like to call my personal magic artist. Like, the person that can magically make something happen. That is where we need to be with our performance anxiety. We need to have our trick nailed in so that whenever we do have feelings of performance anxiety, or we have... Hey, welcome Cornsucker, welcome to the stream. But yeah, when we do have performance anxiety and we feel on stage and we're just hands shaking, lips not working, we can't breathe, we need to be able to become a magician and know exactly what to do in order to impress the crowd and in order to pull everything off successfully. So that's pretty much how I would say performance anxiety and performing artist kind of wraps in together. You have to be an artist for yourself. You have to be a magician and get yourself out of that. And that's really only something that you can figure out how to get out of. There's medication for it, which personally, this is a very personal recommendation. I've had people on social media tell me otherwise. I do not like using beta blockers. I do not use beta blockers for performance anxiety. I would not personally recommend them because I do not like how they feel. If you're just looking for a goal for performance anxiety and like that's it, you don't care how you get there, beta blocker, 100%. If you don't care how to get there, I would recommend those. But if you care how you feel after a performance, which I do, I didn't feel like a regular person after my performance. So yeah. Back to what performance anxiety feels like. It could be like you're short of breath. Move my video feed if you I don't think I can, unfortunately. Actually, you know what we'll do? We'll do this instead. I have an idea. So we're just gonna do this real quick. We're gonna pop over to an intermission while I'm trying to figure out how we're going to do this. And I'm pretty sure I have a good idea. I just have to get it figured out. Come on, here we go. Thank you. Alright, here we are. So, now we're gonna do this. Boom. Okay, maybe not. Maybe we're not gonna do that. Not this again. This is where stuff hits the fan, and I don't like where stuff hits the fan because stuff doesn't work. Alright. Can I move this over here? No? No? Why can't I move this? Hey Ben, welcome to the stream. I'm having a little bit of a technical difficulty here, so don't mind me. I'm just trying to get everything worked out. Doesn't seem to be working, but I think we got it. Let's see. Nope, that doesn't work either. Well, I guess this is just gonna have to do. I am sorry, but the more I'm looking at it and the more I'm trying to fix it, I don't think I can fix the video webcam so that you guys can see all of the text that I'm writing. But everything that I am writing, I will give out to you guys. This is kind of like a behind the scenes kind of view of this presentation. It's actually for a master class as well as a class that I'm doing. So it's kind of like a big project all rolled into one. So back to what performance anxiety actually feels like. It could be shortness of breath. You could literally be like physically shaking. I have a couple of friends that said when they are dealing with performance anxiety, they literally shake. Like their hands shake, their knees shake, their feet shake, and they're just very unstable. A lot of negative connotation happens when we're like in a performance anxiety state. I don't think I spelled connotation right. There we go. I'll get on the tech issues. Thank you very much. But yeah, we like to think that we're not doing good enough. We're not going to do good enough. We're going to have a bad performance. All of these nots, bad, and like just negative connotation comes with the performance when we have performance anxiety. So we have to figure out a way to take this negative connotation, pull it out, and replace it with something. And that's actually something we're going to talk about a little bit later. So in addition to short of breath, physically shaking, negative connotation. You could feel depressed and what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of enable a mental trauma or a mental crisis. So I'm just going to put possible mental health. And I'm not sure exactly how to word that, so I'm just going to put it just like possible mental health. Just because why I say possible mental health is because maybe 2 weeks before we're looking at this performance, we're looking at the date and all of the stuff we have to perform, and we're looking at it and saying, what is going to happen? I don't know if this is even going to work. I don't know if I can put this all together. And you just stop. And that is one of the worst things that any musician and any performer and anybody in any field rather could do. It's one of the worst things ever. Is you move, here we go. Move. You're moving in the same direction. You keep going in that direction, and then you stop. Dead in your tracks. That's the worst thing that could happen. Especially when you get closer to a performance, you have to take your motivation and everything that you have going for you, kind of like a snowball effect. If you are 3/4 of the way down the mountain and you just hit something and stop, something is not going to be good on the other end of that snowball. But if you continue all the way down the hill and use all your momentum, it's just going to get bigger, more impressive, and better. So we have to really think about that when we're moving forward with performance anxiety. So shortness of breath, physically shaking, negative connotation, possible mental health, not issues, but episode. I'll call it an episode. And I feel like that's kind of, what do you guys think? What do you guys feel when you guys have performance anxiety? I want to take some opinions here. I'll come back to that if you guys put something in the chat. I'll add a response or two, and maybe we can talk about that. But now I'm going to go to, so we know what it feels like. We know what we're feeling. And that's something that I can't answer for you. That's something only you can answer for yourself. Don't mind me. I'm going to take a quick swig. It's like Gatorade, but in a weird can, or in a weird bottle. And it tastes really, really good. Never had Body Armor before. 10 out of 10, would recommend. So yeah. So once we know what it feels like and we can put a physical attachment to it, now we have to know, well, what is causing that? We know what we're feeling, but we don't know how to express that yet. So, what causes this feeling of short breath, this feeling of negative connotation, this feeling of being very on edge and very vulnerable to almost any situation that might happen? What causes the feeling of short breath and anxiety and kind of panic, for me personally, it's knowing that there's no second shot at this. And once you know that there's no second shot and this performance is all you've had, it kind of gets to you a little bit. At least for me, when I had my junior recital, I knew this was it. Like, this was the one performance of my junior recital, and then that was it. I don't have to worry about this music anymore. And that's kind of the positive connotation I found with it, was that I didn't have to worry about this music anymore once I did my recital. So what causes the feeling of everything that goes on? It could be timelines, whether like I don't feel ready in 2 weeks, or it could just be I don't feel ready. Or another one that personally I have said to my teachers many a times over, especially before a performance, I don't think I'll do good. That one was probably one of the most important ones for me, was I don't think I'll do good. And it's very weird. It's very weird to say I don't think I'll do good, even though we do this for fun every day. We play this instrument and we make music every day, multiple times a day. But we still have that feeling of I'm not going to do good. So at that point, that's kind of, well, let's sit back, let's relax, and let's think about, why are we not going to do good? What about our performance is not going to go the way we want it to? I also forgot that I just got my car, so my elbow just ran into my car keys. I was like, what just happened? Okay. So, timelines, maybe feeling not prepared in the proper timeline. I don't feel ready. Like I said, I don't think I'll do good. What do you guys think about that one? What do you guys think about what causes this feeling? And after what causes this feeling, we're gonna go to how can we use this feeling in the opposite way? Using our negative connotations, our shortness of breath, fear of judgment, yes. Agreed. I'll put fear of judgment. And then just a quote that kind of thought, like, immediately came to me because of that was, what if my blank thinks I'm not good enough? Or what if so-and-so thinks I'm not good enough? What if this person thinks I'm not good enough? At least in my experiences, I can only speak for myself. I have had plenty of feelings of what if so-and-so doesn't think I'm good enough. And that's a big one, especially for auditions. For college seniors going to grad school, for high school seniors going into their undergrad, this is probably one of the most important quotes, is what if who I'm auditioning for doesn't think I'm good enough? What if I don't get into their program because I'm not good enough, like, to play for them? And I just want to address this right here, just because we do have a lot of time. It is only 5:37 and I'm streaming for another 2 hours. Just speaking directly to college transfers, undergraduate prospective students, graduate prospective students, maybe not so much graduate prospective students. I'm not in that card yet, but at least undergraduate and transfer prospective students, just go out there, play, and have fun. Know that the professor wants the best for you, and they want you to perform your best. They don't want you to come into the audition room and fall on your face. What they would want to do is have you fall on your face and somehow help you get back up. That's what they would really want to do. So don't ever go nervous. Don't ever be nervous or be very panicked in a situation where you're auditioning for an undergrad program and you're very worried that you don't think you're good enough. They want to help you as much as you want to get better. They want you to get better as much as you want to get better. And that's probably the most important thing in undergrad, is what I just said. Awesome. Thank you, Ben, for the recommendation to add there. Nice little discussion we had. I liked it. So how can we use our feelings that we have to combat them? One way that I use personally, and this has worked really, really, really well for me, is whenever I'm having a negative feeling or just something's not feeling right, I don't know about this performance. I use that instant feeling to hyperfixate on one thing that I'm going to control in my performance. And I call that hyperfixating. With hyperfixating, you can be in control of one thing during your performance. With performance anxiety, sometimes people feel like they're out of control. And I'm going to put that here. There. They feel like it's not in their hands. They can't do anything else about it. What they've already done is they've practiced hard enough. They did their best. Now, okay, whatever. But that's not really what we're going for here. What we're going for is we're trying to hyperfixate and control one thing in our performance. If we can control one thing in our performance, then we're able to at least manipulate the performance in the way that we want it to, provided what we are controlling. Just for an example, I have my horn right next to me, luckily. Playing trumpet on stream for the first time. Yay! Okay. So, let's say I'm playing just a D major scale. A D major... It's a very simple scale, very easy scale. But here's the thing that, let's say I have to perform this and I only have one shot to do it, and if I don't play it right, then I have a possibility of losing a principal trumpet spot at my university. I don't know. Just think of something where you have to emulate that feeling of you're in an audition. You have a little bit of stress on your shoulders. If I feel out of control in this very situation, with hyperfixating, what I would do is, alright, since I'm in D major, I'm using 1 and 3. I'm going to make sure that I'm using my slides as much as possible throughout this entire scale. So I would make sure I'm using my slides on D, E, A. And maybe a little bit on the high C sharp, a little bit on high D. Now that I hyperfixated on that, my performance was actually enhanced. Because if I was to just pick up the instrument and play, sometimes we don't make every single accentuation that we should. We don't make every single, like, checkbox because it's just not, it's not what's comfy. If we just have to run through a D major scale just because we have to, then maybe we might not use a little bit of slide on C sharp or a little bit on D, or maybe we might not use our first valve slide on E. It's all just kind of like in the moment. We might not do that. But if we hyperfixate on that, we are positive that we are in control of that in that very moment. Another example, let's say we have very shaky lips and we're just like we can't make a sound. Well, one thing that you can control there is, well, I'm going to be in control of my airstream. I'm going to make sure that I can at least ow, don't smack your finger on your desk when you're trying to exhale. Teaching moment. But yeah, if you're having shaky lips, for example, just be in control of, and that's all you have to do. So that's hyperfixating. A way to combat this feeling is to just embrace it. as weird as this may sound, embracing the feeling of having a performance anxiety, you could actually use your nerves to better your performance, like I did with hyperfixating, but a little bit different. Um, Use the feeling of, let's say, we're very shaky, we're very nervous. We'll use that nervousness, use those jitters, and just get excited over them. Just go nuts. Go nuts and go fantastically happy over the fact that you have jitters. Embrace everything that you have going on and just say, overpower your performance anxiety. And just say, this is going to be a good performance. Like, let's go. Just psych your body out and just push your body to that point where you're just like, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I know I've done that a couple times where my friends and I have been so excited over a performance, we didn't even think about performance anxiety. Like, not even a thought. We didn't give a thought to how nervous we were performing on stage. And our recital hall was full. It was a full recital hall. Not one seat was empty, and we weren't nervous because we just embraced it, and we were like, you know what? This is the day. It was going to happen anyway. Might as well just say, I played a concert tonight, and I enjoyed it. Once you can say that I want to have a concert that I enjoyed, and this isn't like 2 hours before the concert. This is like, I'd say as far out as you think you need for this preparation. Just say, this is going to be a great concert. This is going to be a great concert. This is going to be great. And when you start to get those jitters, embrace that to your great performance. So embrace the feeling of overwhelm and use it to, I'm going to say, override the code written of nerves. Because when we have nerves, we always get nervous. That's obviously what the word nerves is. We get nervous because of our nerves. But if we can kind of override our brain's thinking of nerves and nervous and kind of embrace that to the point where we knew it was going to happen and we're nervous for it, but just know everyone out in the audience is not looking for you to have a bad performance. They're all kind of looking for you to be able to at least go out there and give it your best. And that's what everyone in the audience is always looking for. They're never going to be looking for perfection. And if they are, you're not at the right place. If you're looking for perfection, you're going to get pretty darn close to it if you go to a symphony concert. Like if you go to a Los Angeles Philharmonic concert or a New York Philharmonic concert or Atlanta Symphony concert, you're going to hear very, very close to perfection. But then again, music is never perfect. So yeah. That being about performance anxiety, I'm going to take a step back just for a little bit. I have to run to the bathroom. But when we come back, we're going to talk about another topic that we're going to talk about another topic that performing artists do on the regular that everybody should use in their practice routine, in their approach, in their mindset, and I think you guys are like it. I'll be right back in like 2 minutes. And I'm back, but with headphones this time, and I forgot I was muted. But we're going to be talking about scheduled or scheduling your practice. Next slide. Here we go. Boom. And both is your answer. When you're talking about practicing, at least that's what we're talking about here. You want both to be your answer when it comes to scheduled practice and scheduling your practice. You want to schedule your practice during your scheduled practice. That's pretty much what you want to be doing. There we go. But yeah, if you're doing your practice or scheduling your practice during your scheduled practice session, you know exactly what you need to be working on going into your practice session. I'm going to put that. And by knowing exactly what you need to be practicing, that kind of ties back to timelines and I don't feel ready. Well, this is a solution, a bigger solution to having performance anxiety. If we feel ready, and of course you guys can't see, but it ties back to what causes this feeling, and I don't feel ready, I don't think I'll do good, and timelines being the problem here. We can go back to knowing exactly what you need to be practicing, especially for when. If we know what we need to practice for when, we're able to evaluate everything, prioritize everything, and really figure out what needs to get done at this present moment or what's not going to happen at all. So, can evaluate everything and prioritize what needs to go first versus what needs to come later. And with this, you can also address that you do need to put in your fundamentals, and you do need to put in time for etudes. You do need to put in time for all of these things that revolve around what we do daily, whether it be solos, etudes, method books, like I just said. All of these things need to be scheduled, and sometimes we need to have more of them, but sometimes we need to also have less of them. And genuinely, it's okay to have less time put towards one thing and more time put towards another, especially if it's that prioritizing that we're doing right now. So pretty much what I mean by it's okay to give less time to something that's more important in the big picture. If you're doing methods and working on your Arbin, working on your Schlossberg, working on a lot of technique, and doing that on a regular basis for, let's say, 2 hours a day, well, if you have an upcoming audition and you're not working on your audition excerpts as much, then there might be an issue here. If you're working towards a concert or a recital and you're not working on your part, but you're working 2 hours a day on just different method books and different etudes, I mean, you're getting better as a trumpet player and you're improving, and good for you, but we're kind of combating being a performing artist and performance and anxiety, and I don't think that being or having a concert or having a recital or having anything that you need to perform something and performing other etudes and other method books and doing all of that other stuff when you have a scheduled performance I don't think that's important. So I'll just put an example right here. Technique for 2 hours is not important. 2 weeks before your performance. So yeah, this is, let's see, it's about 6 o'clock. I started, yeah. Alright, so let's just take a step back from this for a second. Let's just reevaluate everything and let's see if we can connect everything. Yeah, that's me, that's him. So what does oh, you guys can't see that. I forgot. So what does performance anxiety feel like? Does it feel like you're kind of like on the edge of a cliff and it's like, well, let's take a step back and what does it feel like? It feels like a shortness of breath, physically shaking, negative connotation. I'll say depressive emotional state. Like what causes this feeling being like timelined and being restricted to a time. I don't feel ready. I don't think I'll do good. A fear of judgment. What if my so-and-so doesn't think I'm good enough? Okay. Yeah. Nice. Nice. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of a break. My brain's just kind of misfiring. I know it's like a weird term because that's what cars do. Cars misfire. That's not what brains do. But my brain's been on like overdrive all day for music. And I think it's time that we had a little community stream around here, kind of like what we did last night. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up how to change the title of the stream. Alright. Think I got it. So we're gonna do boop, set title TCC. Don't think that worked. Alright. Yeah, that didn't work. Alright, that's fine. Well, I'm going to stop the stream here, and then I'm going to restart the stream in a little bit. I still have not gotten food in me, so I think I'm going to get some food in me real quick. And I think I will be right back. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, at least for the music part of this. I wish it could have been a little bit longer, but my brain has been just going all day. I think it needs a little bit of a break. So I will be back in approximately like 20 minutes.